For those of you who don't already know what I do for a job, I am a creative director. I'm a graphic designer. Lots of things actually. Since the documentary came out last year, I've kind of got more involved in tech, which is really fun. So wearable tech and kind of apps and things like that and gadgets. I do a lot of different things. I write as well. I wrote a book, but I also write articles about things sometimes, and mainly Parkinson's, but I've also written sort of other things, and I'm a copywriter for companies as well. This can be quite difficult if I'm having a bad day. So if I'm kind of incredibly shaky, which I was this morning, moving pixels around on a screen is the toughest thing you will ever have to do when you've got a tremor, and trying to get things to line up properly is really, really difficult. I get round this by trying to work at different times of the day. That's not always possible though, because if a client has a deadline and I've got to rush to get it done, I can't say to them, oh, my hand's not working, I can't do it for you. It's not the best excuse ever. I've been really lucky that I've moved into more of a sort of consultant role, which means I am more hands off, but there's still things that I have to do, filling out sheets and sorting out kind of mood boards and bits of design that I, to explain to someone else, you need to be able to do it yourselves a lot of the time. So, it can be difficult and frustrating. It never makes me sad, but it makes me angry. I've been known to want to throw my computer out of the window a lot of the time. I'm constantly wanting to grab it and shake it and kind of get really mad at it, but I haven't yet. I haven't broken anything yet. I've not gone completely Hulk on anything yet, so that's good. So I'm kind of starting to use dictation. This is something that I veered away from. It's similar to kind of David's video about him kind of going through the airport the other day and needing a wheelchair. It's similar as that. There's all these little things that you can use to help you, but it's kind of fessing up to the fact that you need them, not to anyone else but to yourself. That's really difficult. So sort of saying I need help, or I don't like to use the term disability, but I guess I'm less able. I don't like the term disability. I think it kind of puts a label on me that I'm not willing to accept just yet, because I am able to do a lot of different things. But it's kind of breaking that barrier and actually accepting that there are things that can help you, and if you bite the bullet and suck up your pride, then you can kind of get by. So I've been using Dictate on my Mac quite a lot recently. It never really knows what I'm saying. I almost sent something to someone the other day that said bitches instead of glitches. So there were website bitches. Luckily I noticed. Luckily it was a friend anyway, so it wouldn't have been a problem. But had that been a client, it could have been a bit embarrassing. There's a lot of different things I know that are available to help me. I could use quick keys, but then sometimes my fingers don't stretch across the keys as well as they should do, so I use all the kind of simple ones like, copy, paste, undo. I use undo a lot. But sort of beyond that, I find they're different for every piece of software as well. And the thing that frustrates me more than anything is the fact that with all our technology nowadays, pretty much everything, if you look at your mobile phone, so I've got an iPhone, all of the controls are through touchscreen stuff mainly, apart from the control button at the bottom. So it's all pinch, swipe, scroll, functions that are really difficult if you have really rubbish motor control. So I find myself opening videos when they're loud on YouTube and sitting on a train. All I want to do is scroll, but I end up opening everything, and then suddenly I'm blaring out music on a packed train and I'm embarrassed. Or I'm opening or liking things that I shouldn't like. I've liked bad news before by mistake and just had to kind of message the person saying, I'm really sorry, my tremor made me shake when I was scrolling. But it's the same with the trackpad on the Mac. I could use the mouse, but that's as difficult. There's just every bit of tech is moving towards things that make it harder for people with disabilities to use them, and then they have to put all these accessibility functions in place to make them usable. And it would be really great for someone to do something other than that, that wasn't daggy and wasn't kind of just for people with disabilities, that was actually for other people. But it's for everyone else, it's easier to swipe and to pinch and to scroll, but for people with disabilities it's not. So it would always be something that's specifically for people with disabilities, and I don't want that. I want something that's cool, and it doesn't mean I have to have it, I've just chosen to have it. So I guess that's my plea to tech, really. It would be so good to kind of get things moving in a direction where it's less about the pinch and the swipe and the scroll. I don't know what it's about instead, but the power of the mind. Maybe it's the power of the mind. But yeah, maybe in the future we'll all have robotic limbs anyway, so it won't even matter.